Hey, this is my spoiler-filled lore video for Right Here, Right Now. If you'd like to hear my no-spoiler review of the movie, you can check out my last video, which I will link in the description. In this video, I'm going to be recounting the story of the film, with most visuals having to be remade by me, as we have very little footage of the movie yet. Also, this is a sequel video to my Road to Right Here, Right Now video and the Amendments video, so I will link both of those in the description too. Our story takes place on September 11th, 2023 in the Kiev Forum in California. Ghost is performing a ritual and Copia is confronting the fact that he might be killed off by the clergy, which he thinks is ridiculous, as he thinks of himself as the best performer of them all by far, and also the youngest. Copia goes backstage during Kaiserion, showing that Nihil and Imperator are present. Copia asks Imperator if he's doing so well, why would it have to end? She tells him he'll have an aha moment eventually. He says he hopes so because he loves haha, and goes to get back on stage. But not before Nihil asks him to do the crucifixion pose at the end, to show his fans he has given all he can and can give no more, which Copia begrudgingly agrees to. After Watcher in the Sky, Copia drops down into a box and talks to Nihil, and they bicker. The tension of an absent father and son is clearly there. Copia even takes a jab at Nihil for only releasing 2 songs, which leads to...
Tree. I'm a wooden bonehead.
No, I actually recorded 3 songs.
Did you? Have to learn another song? I don't have time for that right now. I mean, you gonna teach me?
There. You don't have to learn it. We'll take something old and something borrowed for the new guy.
Right.
Copia then plays a rendition of If You Have Ghosts, which is absolutely beautiful with the Goulette's orchestral vocals, and he goes backstage after putting on a boxing outfit, then immediately taking it off when he gets back. While backstage, Miasma starts playing, and Nihil and Imperator sit Copia down to talk to him. Nihil says that Copia is acting like he's the only one that's ever gone through this fear of potentially dying, but so many others have. Even Nihil did, and he talks about living in the moment and that he's almost 80 years old and he's dead, but he gets to perform for the crowd, and it's all he could ever ask for. Obviously delivered in a better way than me half remembering it, but still, Copia starts to tear up and says, "Thanks, Dad," to Nihil, which is the first time he's ever called him Dad to his face. Copia goes on stage to perform his dad's song, Mary on a Cross, but instead of being showed the stage like usual, we are shown the aftermath of the Whiskey A Go-Go show when Nihil kisses those 2 fans, via an animated music video in the style of 60s Scooby-Doo. Nihil chases Sister Imperator across Hollywood until Imperator runs into a graveyard, seemingly contemplating something. We cut to Nihil searching tombs until he pulls open a coffin to see Imperator, who pulls him in, and they start to kiss, as the camera pulls out to show a pentagram drawn around the coffin. The morning comes and Nihil is alone and naked in a bed at the Bates Motel in Universal Studios as Imperator walks away. And then the animated segment ends. Copia returns backstage and a ghoul asks him if they're going to do an encore. Copia says no, but Imperator convinces him and he goes out and performs 3 more songs, ending with Square Hammer, and doing the crucifixion pose as Nihil asked him. He has given all he could and can give no more. He walks backstage and steps into a hot air balloon. And he flies, up and up, until he's in space. He looks down to see Imperator looking up, shocked and saddened. Then we begin to see flashes. Imperator meeting Nihil, then falling in love, Nihil cheating, then a child. But not just one, twins which grow up together. We also see a flash of Romulus and Remus from Roman mythology. Then everything goes black, and we hear a thud. Copia lay on the ground, slowly waking up. He then gets helped up by some attendants and looks over to see Imperator sprawled out on the ground, unresponsive. He never was in a balloon. He was disassociating as he saw his mother pass away and then fainted and fell. Copia mourns her as Mr. Salutary and hands him a letter from Imperator, which is her apologising for not telling Copia that she was so ill, explaining that she did it as to not break his already fragile concentration. But she tells him he'll be moving on as the new head of the clergy, as Frater or Brother Imperator. The credits roll as Nihil's 3rd song plays, The Future is a Foreign Land, which is an absolutely beautiful song, and instead of doing what I normally do of playing the song with some lyrics to show what it is, I'm going to link it in the description so you can listen to it in full for yourself, as it's absolutely beautiful and worth it. The song is so clearly anti-war and about the horrors that have happened and continue to happen and wishing for a better, more peaceful time, but also that if that peaceful time never comes, you can still try to live life in the moment. The song was written in 1969, presumably after the September 13th Whiskey A Go-Go show where Nihil cheated, and it sounds so much like a love letter or apology to Imperator for his cheating, with lyrics such as "We can grow old together, we don't have to be enemies." Then as the credits end, we're back in the Ministry. Copia in his brand new suit as Brother Imperator, surrounded by the ghosts of Nihil, Imperator, and the children from the chapters, waiting for the arrival of Papa Emeritus V, who comes in front of a light through a door, already wearing the mitre. Then cut. Yeah, they left us on a cliffhanger, but hey, that means there's more to document in the future, right? So now that we're all caught up on the story and where we are now, Copia's possible death plot resolved, we are left with a few questions. The first being, who's Papa Emeritus V? Copia was the last of the Emeritus bloodline. Or was he? Which leads us to our second question. Who is Imperator's second child? We saw as her life flashed before her eyes that she saw twins, with this also potentially confirming she's not the mother of the other Papas, just Copia and this mysterious twin, whom from this point on I shall refer to as Ignotum Emeritus, for unknown in Latin. And last question, why show Romulus and Remus in the twin flashback? I'll be trying to somewhat answer this question first as it may tie into our other two, which means quickly recounting their myth. Romulus and Remus were twin brothers who were the sons of a human woman, Rhea Silvia, and the god of war Mars. Together they founded Rome but disagreed what hill to build it on, and when they asked the god via counting auspicious birds, Remus counted 6 and Romulus counted 12, which led to another dispute of the results. Remus then insulted Romulus' city and was killed by either Romulus himself or one of his followers. It's possible that this story could be reflecting in the potential motives and story going forward for Copia and Ignotum. In my head currently there are 3 people that could be Ignotum, the candidates being: number 1, Papa Emeritus V. We don't know what he looks like, but he could potentially be Copia's twin, maybe looking more like Copia before the plastic surgery and with lighter hair to look more like his mother. And maybe he's jealous of Copia's position as Brother Imperator and tries to take that by force. Number 2, Jim DeFrock. He's the only other living guy we know of, and him and Copia might be around the same age. I could see DeFrock looking young for a 54-year-old, and they're definitely at odds due to DeFrock and Copia's faiths and positions in their respective circles. However, there's one key thing that doesn't make this tied together quite right. The eye. Jim DeFrock doesn't have the white eye of the Emeritus bloodline, which every other son of Nihil had. Then again, maybe he just takes more after his mother. And finally, number 3, they're an unknown character. For now, they may be shown more as we get more music videos, chapters, and potentially even movies. But, for now at least, that's it. No more lore or chapters on our end, we just have to wait and see what the clergy has to offer us in the future. As always, I'll be here to catalogue it and put it in line with our timeline. So until then, thank you again for watching, and see you right here, right then.